Hello everyone. I wanted to do a quick video about the Lian Li Lancool 2 RGB mesh, the newest addition to the Lancool 2 line, the follow-up to the original Lancool with the RGB strips. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight into what I'm seeing compared to the reviews, as well as talk a little bit about the optional accessories that are available. I went ahead and purchased all four. I've installed two of them so far, and I was going to talk a little bit about some of the lessons I learned while doing that. In a follow-up video, I'll probably go ahead and discuss the other two once I have them installed, because I'm going to have to wait until I actually get a majority of the system built before I can install them. And then perhaps later on as well, I'm going to do a video in regards to the the Lian Li Galahad All-in-One 360, which just came in today. So I'm very excited to put that in there on this system. So looking at the actual system itself, I was very impressed overall with this entire case. This case is actually for $95, very, very well made, just like they say on a lot of those inside reviews. It's primarily metal. The only plastic I've found at all on this system is actually the removable drive bays, and to me that's a minimal hit, because very rarely are you going to be pushing and pulling on those. You're going to install a drive every so often. Other than that, you're talking about riveted metal with some very solid case screws. Even the paint job itself is a matte white finish, but it is very rugged, very scratch resistant, so I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far. It comes with the three 120mm RGB fans already pre-installed, but as I mentioned, in this case I'm going to have to remove all three of those, move them into other positions within the case to allow for the all-in-one to go in the front. But I'm excited about that. So far I have actually installed the USB 3.1, USB Type-C connector in there, the optional kit that came in from Lian Li. The one thing I will recommend to users to watch out for is you only have to remove the two screws on both sides of the case to actually remove that entire thing. However, make sure you undo the bundled wires in the two Velcro strips, and that'll allow you enough space to actually pull down the entire interface panel, bring it down, and then there's 6 additional screws that you will be undoing from the base to allow you to get in there. You'll pull those 6 screws off, pull down the actual board, install the USB Type-C connector with 1 screw, and then you just reverse that and you're in there without any issues. The second piece that I've also installed so far is the additional RGB LED strip, which adheres with just a simple piece of double-sided 3M tape. They give you 2 options in the recommended instructions, which are very easy to follow, obviously. They recommend you put it either here on the top of the magnetic mounting place, which does not interfere at all with the action of the magnets, or they recommend that you could put it inside on the back side of the panel. However, based on the length of the cable itself, I don't see that being a very easy to maneuver process, because you're going to have a tight connection if you do that, and I'd be worried about possibly damaging that by pulling this panel up and down repeatedly. And as a second piece of that, once you do install the actual USB strip, Lian Li has provided an additional connection point right there on the bundled wires that you simply plug that into, so it will maintain control of that light as well on the front cycle and mode and color panel there. Other than that, like I said, I'm very impressed so far with what I've seen. Everything comes off fairly easy. However, I will warn you, some of the reviews that have shown any of these screw type connectors that look like thumb screws that should be able to just pull off with thumb tightening, yeah, good luck with that. They are on there very, very tight, to a point where I know they've been put on with machines for expediency, and in a lot of the early reviews, these rubber washers were chewed up just because of the fact they had been over-torqued by the installation process and pretty much ruined. So a lot of the reviewers were concerned about that. It looks like Lian Li has actually fixed that problem, because looking at the ones that I've removed so far, I've had no issues with actually seeing any damage on any of those washers. So kudos to them on doing that. I will also warn you, if you do plan on removing any of these inside panels, they have 2 removable panels in here now that allow you to mount either hard drives in this position or remove them to allow fan mounts, as well as this panel here that allows expanded space around the front. Those screws are in there about as tight as they can be. If you want to worry about rounding off those screws, I actually had to break down and go ahead and use an actual electric drill just to put a little bit of torque and weight on there to avoid rounding those screws out. So I went through and proactively loosened all those screws and then hand tightened them back down, just so that way if I ever do need to remove those or decide to add the fans, they'll be ready for me to do without having to break out the power drill again. So just a note for you. And again, anywhere you see connectors on this, you are probably going to have to put a little bit of elbow grease with the screwdriver to actually make it effective. But other than that, so far I'm truly loving this case. For the $95, it's money well spent. I highly recommend it to any user out there that's looking for a mid-range, good-sized case that actually has more options and more functionality than you can really imagine for this price point. I don't think you'll be disappointed with it at all. And again, so far on the two items that I have installed, the Type-C cable and the LED strip, very easy to install. They come with very simplistic photo instructions, very easy for a user to put in. Takes all of about 5 minutes if you pay attention, but again, just follow the very simple rules and you'll have no problems. The next time I do a video, I'm actually going to do a review or an install of the vertical GPU kit and the hot swappable backplate for the 3 drives that are in there to make them hot swappable units. So my hope is they go in as easy as the previous 2, just for ease of use. And then, as I said, once I get everything installed, I am looking forward to actually playing with the all-in-one Galahad 360. As you can tell, I'm going with the silver and white and black type of interface on this build, just to kind of have that Stormtrooper feel to it. That's just a little personal preference of mine. So again, if you have any questions about the particular case or any questions regarding the accessories, I'd be more than happy to answer them. I apologize for the quality of the video and the shakiness, but again, thanks for your time and look forward to talking to you. Take care.